Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Pinkfresh Studio. And today I'm using the super cool collection to document a picture of my daughter. And she loves to play guitar, and the choir paper actually in the collection has electric guitars, a lot to do with music, and there's a lot of icons that speak about music and playing instruments. So I want to take advantage of that to document this picture. It's going to be a really messy, kind of bold layout. My inspiration was not only the paper but also the Adore Alpha. I love like the look of the alpha, and I think it's gonna match what I have in mind. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a large title, like a pretty much fill the page title, and for this I'm actually gonna emboss the letters, and I'm using some clear embossing ink to stamp the word love music, love guitar, love today. So I'm gonna just kind of create a big column stamping all of that. I'm gonna show you just a little bit. You saw that I use anti-static powder to start with, and I'm using heavy cardstock because I am gonna add mixed media to this. So all I'm doing right now is just I'm stamping the words using clear embossing ink, and then I'm going to use opaque white embossing powder because I want to make sure that this remains white when I add the mixed media. So I'm just going to continue stamping, and like I said, I pretty much stamped the entire column, and these letters are quite bold. Like I said, I wanted something really bold for the background, and I'm going to cover a little bit of that, and I don't mind that. I actually really enjoy the fact that it's a really big title. So I'm just, like I said, I'm going to continue stamping. I'm gonna try this best to keep straight. I didn't draw any lines. I'm just kind of freehanding this, and then I'm just I'm gonna take it off camera and heat emboss it just to have it ready for my mixed media. Now for my mixed media, I wanted something that's gonna make everything stand out, starting with the title and everything else. And for that, I usually always go back to black. And because the picture is on black and white, I'm gonna bring a few accents, but I don't want to make it completely black. I actually went into the highlight paper, which is the one that has all the words with like literally looks like highlights, and I really like those tones of grays. So for this, I'm gonna use a little bit of licorice liquid watercolor from the Pinkfresh Studio collection, and I'm gonna water quite a bit. And I'm gonna start by stamping the ink, literally. All I did is add a little bit of the watercolor to my little ink block, and I'm adding some water just to dilute it. I don't want it to be completely black. I just want shades of gray. And then all I'm doing is stamping it onto the layout, and what the ink, in this case the watercolor, is just gonna go into the parts where that are not embossed. So it's gonna bring that embossing that I created forward. So I'm just gonna give you a close-up, and I decided to switch from the stamping block onto a piece of paper, in this case packaging. And again, I'm continue doing the same thing. Actually, I'm not using packaging, I'm using a piece of acrylic. So all I'm doing is a little bit of the licorice watercolor, the liquid watercolor. I'm gonna dilute it with some water because I don't want it to be black. I want tones of gray. And then I'm just gonna once I dilute it in the little piece of acrylic, just a little bit of water, I'm gonna flip it onto the title, and literally you're gonna see that when I flip the paper, I'm gonna kind of smoosh it with my finger and help in this case the pigment or the watercolor move around so that it creates the shadow effect, and the letters are gonna come forward. Remember, they're embossed, so they are gonna come out. The ink is gonna, in this case the watercolor, is gonna go onto the paper, and you're gonna see that I continue. There is gonna be a little bit of the watercolor that stays on the embossing. So you're gonna see right now what I do is I come in with baby wipe and just kind of buff the letters, and they're just gonna bring some of the whiteness of the embossing powder. It is going to stain a little bit, not much. You're gonna see that I pretty much clean right away just because I wanna keep it as white as I can. So now that I pretty much my background's ready, you're gonna see it's quite bold. Like I said, it's gonna take pretty much the entire page. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a few splatters of the ink, not too heavy. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of extra water onto the watercolor that I have, and kind of squish my bristles of the watercolor just to create those big splatters. And once I have that in place, I'm actually gonna set it aside to dry completely while I just, and I start gathering my ideas. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create little edges on the right and left of the layout. I'm gonna actually back those areas with the quarter paper. So you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna cut, I'm gonna say like uneven edges on the right hand side especially. I just went and cut along the line, and I just made a little notch right in that area where it says love today. I stamped it on purpose a little bit offset, so that I knew that I was gonna add a cluster there. So all I'm gonna do is just add some double-sided tape to the back of the paper and then glue it onto a piece of the quarter paper. I just want to make sure that some of the musical notes show up. I'm going to try to play the guitars. I just want things that bring the music accents onto this layout. So once I have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and just remember, I put double-sided tape at the back of the cardstock in this case and glue it to a piece of the quarter paper. So whatever is left over, I'm just going to use it to create the same idea on the other side of the paper. So right now, I'm actually going to trim around. I'm going to say a quarter, I'm going to say a quarter or 3/8 of the paper on the left hand side, and then I'm going to also create a little notch on the paper. I'm just going to cut a little slit and fold the pieces, I'm going to say, or the size of the slit inside, and that's going to create a little rectangle, a little triangle, my apology, where I'm actually going to back it again with the quarter paper. And I love the way this turned out, and like I said before, even though I created my title, my idea was to try to keep it as clean as I could and that the whole title is going to be legible. I'm actually going to end up covering some of it, and I don't mind it. I actually quite enjoy it. So now what I'm going to do is I want to bring some of that pink, just because it's a layer about my daughter. So I'm using the highlight paper. It's the B side of it. It has this beautiful pinkish grid, and then I'm gonna cut a few of the little picture frames from the hashtag paper. I really like them, and I thought just because it's a picture, I'm gonna kind of make it look like the picture is how will I say, a cascade of picture frames. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna actually glue those two. I'm just gonna cut two of them like right underneath the picture, so that like they're cascading. And I chose the ones the frames that said love and photo of the day, because this was just, like I said, my daughter, she's a teenager now, so sometimes it's hard to take pictures of them, but this one is a picture that this is how she looks half the time, holding a guitar or a book. So it's, now that she's older, it's harder to get that picture, but I have a few good ones and I love them. So now all I'm gonna do is just add another piece of paper, and I cut one of the little cards. I'm gonna bring some of that light green, and this is the current mood paper, and that's the one that has the beautiful ombre stripes on the B side. And all I'm doing is just adding a little bit of foam adhesive actually behind the picture, and then I'm gonna go ahead and attach the frames, like I said, so they're coming off the picture, kind of cascading down the line. You're gonna see that slowly I'm gonna form kind of a soft diagonal design on my page. So once I have that in place, I'm actually gonna glue the picture right in place. I'm gonna bring a few more accents onto this layout, and I'm just gonna bring some of the puffy stickers. I'm gonna bring a few more pieces of ephemera. I'm gonna bring some of the cardstock stickers. All I want to do is add accents that talk about music, and there's tons of it in the collection. There's earphones, there's that guitar, and the reason why I actually chose this picture is because I found that electric guitar in the ephemera pack, and I knew exactly what picture I wanted to do and what I had in mind. So you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna bring that ephemera piece that I'm talking about, and I'm gonna use it on the right hand side of the page, in that little area where I created that little slit. Is gonna give me the perfect place to add another cluster. So all I'm gonna do is add back, in this case, the guitar with some foam adhesive, just to create a little bit of a lift. And then again, I'm gonna bring some more of the stickers. I'm gonna try to use things to talk about music. I think that sticker is pretty amazing, and it is amazing. Like I said before, my son got a guitar when he was 10 years old. My father gave it as a present, and he didn't like it, and my daughter just picked it up and she taught herself how to play it, and then we took her into music school so she can read guitar. She can play it really well, but she did not want to do that for life. She just wanted to play it for fun. And like I said, sometimes you can see her reading, and other times you just sit in the room with the guitar playing away. So I'm just gonna going back to the layout, I'm just adding some enamel dots just to bring all the colors together. And then I have that big space where I created that slit. So what I'm gonna do is I don't want to cover lots of that. I'm just gonna add one of the cardstock stickers just to bring some more of that blue and add some enamel dots there. Now what you're gonna see is that when I stamped it, because the way I work on my table, a lot of it is outside of the range where I can see. So I'm finding that my stamping is really, I'm gonna say it's really top heavy. So before I set everything in place, I'm gonna add my lines with journal, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna trim the bottom of the page and also the sides. What I decided is I'm gonna frame the entire layout, and that's just gonna make everything center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut all the coir paper that I have kind of sticking off the white area of the cardstock, and then I'm gonna back it with the B side of the current mood paper, and that's the one that has all the beautiful green ombre stripes. So you're gonna see that what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use my my scoring board where I have I don't know how you call it, well, my cutter, just to create a frame out of the papers. I think about 1.5 inch frame, and that's just gonna give me enough paper to keep everything centered. So once I cut the frame, I'm just gonna add double-sided tape to run the inside frame of the paper, and then I'm gonna glue my layout right on top of it and make sure that it's centered. And that's about it. I love how this turned out. I know that it looks messy. It looks messy on camera. It's not messy in real life. I love it. I love the fact that it's a really bold title that is this is, like I said, and it's a true reflection of my daughter, and I love it. And I hope you take a look at the collection. The collection is amazing. Even if you don't have teenagers, but it's so versatile that there's so much you can do with it. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy the layout. Don't forget to check out the collection. It's amazing, as always, Pinkfresh Studio collections, and I hope to see you very soon. Take care, guys.